show with me, the Broken Bottle Boy, here on Twitch. Today's episode, Season 4, Episode 22, Spread, Spread, Spread. It's a 3-paper show today, so we should be done in an even hour. Papers under review today, the Times, the Daily Mail, and the Sun. I did have the Guardian today, and you can see the full front page breakdown of that in my media tweets on Twitter. There is the Guardian's front page. I won't be covering it on the show today for A, reasons of time, and B, reasons of it's just never that interesting to do on the stream. So, right, we're going to start with the Times, and then we will go on to good afternoon, Carbot14XYZ. Thank you for being out of the gate so quickly. Ooh, thank you very much. Cheers. Mark Cano says, does the Guardian have the Shrek article? The Shrek article. I'm not aware of the Shrek article. Hold fire. Oh Jesus! I'll put it out. I'll wrench it. There we go. Right. Let me see, Mark. The Shrek article. It doesn't matter, I'll still be done by 2, as long as I can get on with it. Was there anything about Shrek in The Guardian today? No, is the answer. Basically saying Shrek is shit, people are mad. I think that's one of their deliberate online Shrek things. Online clickbait things. I'm also looking at G2. I mean, Shrek sort of... Is Shrek shit? I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess. No, there's a thing about Jane County. There's a thing on how we made my dad wrote a porno. No, the Shrek article does not seem to be in The Guardian. I will avail myself of the Shrek article. I've been watching almost 20-year-old political documentaries this morning for tomorrow's newsletter. Right, so starting... hello to Mark, by the way. Hello to Use of Weapons. Hello, Studying Fangirl. And hello, Industrial Pet. Right, starting with the Times. Top of the shop at the Times. Look, we're indoors. The day of the great unlocking. Fucking hell. It's in the Times too. It's Times writers talking about what they did on their first day of freedom or whatever. Tottenham Rock to star striker Kane asked for transfer is in the sports news. And the main story from the Times... Fears that spread of variant may end in tears. There's a pun they could not resist. Main picture is Andy Borek from Wimbledon in southwest London, who savoured the return of indoor service at cafes, bars and restaurants with his pet Westy Poo, Molly. Westy Poo. There's too many of these, but that is a good-looking dog. As Lord Austin no doubt would say. And on the right-hand side of the Times front page, thousands fly to amber countries as ban lifts. Turns out people don't listen to things that Matt Hancock says. Surprise, surprise. Hey, Bad Motivator, good to see you. Hey, Slankamaya, hope you're doing all right today. Good to see you as ever. Right, getting inside the paper. I will say, by way of preview, there is a very good picture of a puffin coming up. Use of Weapons, Matt Wancock. Good afternoon, Mark's Villainy. How are you doing? Dan Jones, 3142. Did you catch the Mail Online story where they accidentally interviewed Onel Hernandez? I did not. Hit me up with the link. Right, page 3. Harry recalls grief in new TV trailer. They're all covering this. It's him in the trailer for The Me You Can't See, a new series for Apple TV produced by him and Oprah Winfrey. It features him talking about the death of his mother. Expect columnists to act like he's not allowed to do that. They're willfully misinterpreting comments about the First Amendment that he said in the same podcast as well. Bill Gates has admitted to having an extramarital affair with an employee only 6 years into his marriage. Here is the excellent picture of the puffin. It says, Huffin and Puffin. Nest building is underway in the puffin colony of Skomer Island off the Pembrokeshire coast. Parents share the 36 to 45-day incubation and feeding duties. The birds breed from the age of 5 or 6 and often live for 20 years. We are a pro-puffin stream. Strongly pro-Puffin. Twitter might be introducing an undo tweet button, but you'd have to pay for it. Seems ludicrous. Here is a man with his pet horse in a pub. It's the Pack Horse pub, and the pony is called Patrick. Use of weapons. I shall never undo my tweets, and anyone who does is a coward. It's like people who limit replies. Although actually sometimes there's reasons to limit replies, but I try to avoid it. 78 million to make rivers safe to swim. This is a policy that The Guardian will love. Wild swimmers will get to bathe in sewage-free water in 2 popular rivers under plans backed by the water regulator for tackling storm overflow system. Imagine that that's like, we live in a country where it's brilliant and good news that we're being told, hey, we're going to make it so there's more that there are fewer places where you have to wade through sewage. As if that's like, not what we should expect generally. Chris Packham says French songbirds rock. France has better bird song, but Twitchers can't see the wood for the trees when it comes to appreciating it, the TV presenter Chris Packham has claimed. The Springwatch presenter told the Radio Times that it was unnecessary to be able to name every last wildflower and butterfly variety, and that a ramble was better spent experiencing nature rather than trying to reel off names of species. I think you should just, ramble however you like. Hey, SK, how you doing? Love that sewage free is a selling point, says Mark Gnosis. Yeah, 78 million quid, and we will make 2 rivers less shit stained than they previously were. Also, the fucking wild swimming thing at The Guardian drives me crazy. It's just swimming, right? Good afternoon, Guybrush. How you doing? Question for you: what attracted Slavica, the statuesque beauty, to F1 goblin Bernie Ecclestone? Use of weapons. Gonna go swimming in the Thames to get a series of cool mutations. Gambling addicts sold bank clients' personal details. Criminals posted customers to steal 2.3 million from the exclusive private bank Coots after an employee with a gambling addiction leaked personal details of its clients for payment, a court heard. I might say if you're a client of Coots, you probably deserve it. Amal Rajan has revealed that he had a full-on panic attack the night before making his debut on BBC Radio 4's Today programme. Rajan, 37, who was also the BBC's media editor, said he'd worked himself into a frenzy the night before his first broadcast and only had managed to get 1 hour's sleep. He tweeted yesterday, 10 p.m. last night, I had a full-on panic attack, worked myself up into a frenzy, catastrophizing about first shift on BBC Radio 4 Today programme. Had 3 massive rums and a bit else. And a bit else. What is the bit else? Got 1 hour's kip in at 3:45. Survived. Thank you for all the niceness and constructive criticism. No constructive criticism from me. I think he's one of the country's worst radio presenters. Mark Canosis, my mate used to promote a drum and bass night, and so many people bought tickets with Coots cards. Ugh. Mark Canosis, I'm okay with Amal Rajan having a bad time. Fair enough. Hey, Yuan, how you doing? My fishy friend. Mr. Gump, good afternoon to you. Mark Gnosis, maybe Amal should go and chill out with some reggae. That's a reference that some people won't get, but I enjoy it nonetheless. Universities are told to stop anti-Semitism foot dragging, it says here. Robert Jenrick has said he's going to name and shame universities that don't sign up to the IHRA's definition of anti-Semitism. Now, there are problems with that definition of anti-Semitism and concerns that it will reduce academic freedom, but this government, of course, doesn't care about that because this government is involved in effectively a kind of weird grandstanding. Here's a massive picture of the sun, which is in fact an artist impression by the European Space Agency of the solar orbiter. It's recorded the first footage of eruptions of particles near the sun's surface, known as coronal mass injections. They blast into the solar system. Yeah, imagine that. Yes, but it's not the right kind of free speech, you see, Guybrush. The only free speech you're allowed to have is the free speech approved by the government, you see. Might sound counterproductive, but counterintuitive, but no, that's just the way it is now. Police have been accused of faking evidence in a... Sorry, itchy nose because of fucking hay fever. A Labour politician should be posthumously stripped of his peerage after police fabricated evidence to protect him from prosecution of child abuse, an inquiry has been told. Lord Janner of Brownston wrote letters to 9 boys under the age of 16 which were indicative of possible sexual relationships, lawyers representing alleged victims of claims. His diaries were said to show he was in contact with a convicted sex offender. A series of secret hearings have allegedly told that key police witnesses gave evidence that other key police witnesses fabricated evidence or behaved corruptly. Surely not. Corruption occurring in the British police. Who knows? Hay fever or a coke habit, my ego is big enough as it is already without getting involved with coke, I have to say. Are they going to prosecute the cops? I seriously doubt it. The Labour MP for Leicester from 1970 to 1997 was accused of abusing boys at children's homes, schools, swimming pools, in his car and at his home. He had been accused of rape, buggery, indecent assaults and gross indecency between 1955 and August 1988, but avoided prosecution for years. Chapman said that there was evidence of preferential treatment by the police and prosecutors. Some police officers claimed that flagrant corruption may have caused the delay in prosecuting the pair. He said that there had been no attempt to deal with Janner as with any other member of the public. The failure to pass statements from 2 alleged victims to the police suggests something darker, that their evidence was deliberately suppressed by senior officers, Chapman added. Nick Stanage, representing other alleged victims, said that Leicestershire County Council had protected Janner from investigation, which should have been prompted by his unusual enthusiasm for time in private rooms with young boys in care. Could imagine that, a nonce in the British establishment who was allegedly allowed to get away with it. Christopher Jacobs, representing a third group of alleged victims, said that they believe Janner would not have been recommended for ennoblement had his dishonesty on numerous occasions been known. He said that the Cabinet Office should re-examine its policy on posthumous forfeiture. Alex Verdon QC, on behalf of the County Council, said that it provided a statement which sets out the initiatives that continue to be taken to ensure children feel able to report abuse. Janner's family have insisted that he's innocent. MI5 new terrorist had attack plans. The police in MI5 did not share a key piece of intelligence from prison that suggested that the Fishmongers Hall killer would launch an attack upon release. Curious. Soldier wrongly accused of killing Iraqi attempted suicide 4 times. It's a very bleak story. Today's pubs owe a lot to the Great War, claims Mark Bridge, the Times' history correspondent. A scheme that was introduced to stop binge drinking among First World War munition workers led to comforts in pubs that we now take for granted. Historic England has published the first comprehensive study of the Carlisle experiment, which brought more than 400 pubs under state control for almost 60 years. In contrast to the overcrowded drinking dens that were common at the time, the pubs, which were altered or built from scratch, served food, had spacious layouts, plentiful seating, and lavatories, as well as bowling greens or reading rooms. The state intervened because heavy drinking was leading to absenteeism amongst munition workers, which was blamed for a shortage of shells in 1915. The government first took into state ownership pubs near armament factories at Enfield Lock in Middlesex, then took over dozens near naval bases on the Cromarty Firth in Scotland, and finally hundreds in and around Carlisle and Gretna. It was in the interwar period that new model inns were created to designs by the architect Harry Redfern. Patrons were tempted to line their stomachs with a pie or sandwich, if not a hot meal. Comfortable furniture and the provision of table games such as dominoes and draughts or newspapers encouraged them to take their time over the drinks. The experiment was shut down by Ted Heath's Conservative government in 1973 and the pubs were sold. Of 417 pubs once in the scheme, only 103 continue to serve their original purpose. Bring back national pubs. I agree. Not gonna lie, the development of pub architecture in England's deeply boring interest of mine. I'm interested. Nationalised Weatherspoons was never a joke to me, says Mark Kenosis. Me either. Let's do it. A 400-year-old copy of the Bible that served as the key to reviving a dead language is a bittersweet document for the Wampanoag tribe. The Elia Indian Bible, which is about to go on display at the Box Museum in Plymouth, was instrumental in bringing a Native American tongue unspoken for 150 years back. Before John Eliot, an English missionary, set down the translation in the 1660s, the Wampanoag language existed only in spoken form. For tribal leaders, it is also a symbol of the harm that befell their people when English settlers established themselves in New England after travelling from Plymouth on the Mayflower. Isn't it interesting how they go with the weird positive? This has helped keep this language alive. Yeah, perhaps the reason that the language has not survived particularly well is because the Native Americans have been rampantly mistreated throughout history and continue to be now. But there you go. AI measures patient's artery to make stent a perfect fit. A new artificial intelligence technology that will help cardiologists to fit stents faster and with more precision will be used to treat heart attack patients across the country. Well, that's good if it works. Girlfriend lied to the police about Babes in the Wood killer. The families of the Babes in the Wood murder victims. What a sin! Like, that's such a tabloid, sinister name. They should stop. They really should not give killers cutesy names like that. Anyway, families of the Babes in the Wood murder victims have labelled the killer's former girlfriend a pathological liar after she's convicted of making false statements to police and courts. Jenny Johnson, 55, faces jail after she was convicted yesterday of perjury and perverting the course of justice to protect Russell Bishop 35 years ago. Bishop abducted, sexually abused and murdered 9-year-old schoolgirls Karen Hadaway and Nicola Fellows in Brighton in 1986. Johnson, who claimed she was infatuated with Bishop, lied about a sweatshirt found near the scene after initially confirming that it belonged to him. Bishop was tried and acquitted in 1987 and went on to abduct, rape, and attempt to murder a 7-year-old girl in 1990. Fucking hell. Giving murderers nicknames full stop is problematic as fuck. Mark Knossos, I don't think it's a cutesy name, to be fair. I think it's a pretty disgusting name. This stuff is anyway, it is a thing that I have a big issue with. The tabloid naming of killers. It goes back to a long way, of course, Jack the Ripper and before, but you know, more recent stuff like Son of Sam and things like that. Anyway, in the comment section, Johnson needs to start a school revolution, says William Hague. I think that the Tories have repeatedly fucked with the education system in negative ways, and I wouldn't trust them to make further changes for the positive. Generation Z should take life more slowly, says Laura Freeman, who is the author of The Reading Cure, How Books Restored My Appetite. Surprise, surprise. Hugo Rifkin, it's a pretty boring column. Giles Corrin has a go at people for mispronouncing words, or at least pronouncing them in ways he doesn't like. Moving on. In the birthdays today, Manu Tuilagi is 30. He's a football player, of course, a rugby player, of course, is 30. John Bruton, the Taoiseach, until 1997, and EU ambassador to US until 2009, is 74. Caroline Charles, the fashion designer, is 79. Chow Yun-fat, the actor, is 66. Rob Collins, managing director of Waitrose, until 2020, is 51. Lord Patrick Cormack, the Conservative MP, until 2010, is 82. Sir Peter Dixon, chairman of Diabetes UK, is 76. Prof. Sir Anthony Epstein, virologist, co-discoverer of the Epstein-Barr virus, is 100. Tina Fey, the comedian creator of 30 Rock, is 51. John Godber, the playwright, known for plays including Bouncers, is 65. It's an excellent play. Keith Hallowell, chairman of Sports Direct until 2018, is 79. John Higgins, the 4-time world snooker champion, is 46. Lieutenant General David Leakey, gentleman usher of the Black Rod and Sergeant at Arms of the House of Lords until 2017, is 69. Nice. Professor Malcolm Longair, Astronomer Royal for Scotland until 1990, is 80. Miriam Margolis is 80. Professor Dame Henrietta Moore, founder and director of the UCL Institute for Global Prosperity at the University College London, is 64. Yannick Noah, the tennis player, French Open winner in 1983, is 61. Guy Opperman, Conservative MP for Hexham, Pensions and Financial Inclusion Minister, is 56. Natalia Osipova, the ballerina and principal dancer of the Royal Ballet, is 35. William Herbert, Earl of Pembroke and Montgomery, is 43. Simon Rufus Isaac, the Marquess of Reading, is 79. Prof. Michael Sandel, sculpture, the Malta Siege Bell Memorial, created in 1992, is 85. Richard Lumley, Earl of Scarborough, Deputy Lieutenant of South Yorkshire, is 48. Lionel Shriver, not happy birthday to her. She is a novelist and is 64 and is awful. Rick Wakeman, keyboardist in Yes, also played the piano part on Life on Mars, is 72. Jessica Watson, Round the World Sailor, is 28. Toya Wilcox, singer of I Want to Be Free 1981 and other stuff, and an actress, 63. Adrian Wooten, chief executive of the Film London and British Film Commission, is 59. Alina Zagitova, the figure skater, 2019 world singles champion, Olympic gold medalist in 2018, is 19. On this day in 1980, the Mount St. Helens volcano in Washington state erupted, causing the death of 57 people. And the last word in this column today goes to Giuseppe Verdi, the Italian composer who translated The Italian composer. This is translated from a letter to Clara Maffei in 1876. To copy the truth can be a good thing, but to invent the truth is better, much better. Rick Wakeman plays the theme tune, sings the theme tune. Industrial Pet says use of weapons. Industrial Pet, the only good thing about the Potter films introduced me to Miriam Margolis. Dan Jones, 3142, 41 years since Ian Curtis died today. Yes, although Ian Curtis was a mad Tory. Happy birthday to Miriam Margolis, says Industrial Pet. Love to her from Mark Kenosis Ortho. Happy birthday to Big Follows. Big Follows, Big Follows. Mark Kenosis, happy birthday to Tina Fey. You're an insufferable lib, but by God, you're funny. Well, she is quite funny, but she's also quite keen on very racialized humor. Right, moving on. Thanks for banning that guy, SK. In the world news, more missile attacks coming. Tel Aviv is warned. Supreme Court to hear challenge to Roe versus Wade. Jesus Christ. Boy 10 was killed by kebab meant for woman's ex-lover. Jesus, this is a horrible story. Indonesia. A woman faces death by firing squad in Indonesia after accidentally killing a 10-year-old boy with poisoned kebabs intended for a man who jilted her. A 25-year-old beautician has been charged with premeditated murder after the death last month of the 10-year-old boy. The boy's father, Bandiman, is a motorcycle taxi driver who, according to police, was approached by Nani. This is the woman on April 25th and offered 30,000 rupiah to deliver food to a policeman identified as Tommy, who had married another woman. He was not at home. Since his wife did not know who had sent it, she refused to accept the package of satay, grilled meat served with peanut sauce. So Bandiman took it home and shared it with his wife and second child, who both began vomiting and foaming at the mouth. They were taken to hospital and treated for food poisoning. His wife was saved, but his son died. It turned out they had been poisoned by cyanide rat poison in the peanut sauce, the one part of the meal Bandiman had not eaten. Nani was arrested on April 30th. The suspect planned the crime, said the local police chief. Her motive was heartbreak because the target married someone else, not her. She faces 20 years in prison or execution, which in Indonesia is carried out by firing squad. Jesus. German Greens to clamp down on budget short-haul holiday flights. Macron tried to smear me, says Marine Le Pen. Marine Le Pen is a piece of shit, so I don't know what else you'd have to say to smear her. Hunt is on for 800 artworks looted by the Red Army. Russia is refusing to hand back masterpieces stolen from the collection of a Jewish Hungarian aristocrat during the Second World War. A lawyer representing his descendants claimed about 800 works belonging to Baron Ferenc Hatvani were taken from Hungary when it was occupied first by the Nazis and then by the Red Army. Most are missing, art experts say. Some are in Russia, but a lot we don't know, the lawyer representing the descendants said. One of the late Baron's works, Bathed in the Forest by Gustave Courbet, the 19th century French master, was sold by Sotheby's for $403,200 last week. The work found its way into the hands of a private Australian collector. It's thought that it was taken by a Russian soldier at the end of the Second World War. Aratrax tried to smear her as not right-wing enough, yeah. Ancient Gospels in peril as fighting rages around Ethiopian monastery. Zuma finally on trial for corruption in South Africa. Africa's list of big five beasts to shoot with cameras, not guns. They say the things that you should try and take photos are of the lion, the leopard, the rhino, the elephant, and the African buffalo. Yeah, okay, in the Times too, yeah, the writers talk about stuff they've done. It's boring, not going to bother with it. In the business news, Warner deal to compete with Netflix. Bitcoin plummets after Musk tweet. Bitcoin fell to a 3-month low yesterday after Elon Musk fueled speculation that Tesla could sell its billion-dollar holdings of cryptocurrency. What did he tweet? He tweeted one word, indeed, in reply to an account called Crypto Whale, which had said they wouldn't blame him for dumping Tesla's remaining stake in Bitcoin. His one-word reply, indeed, accelerated its fall to 42,200, its lowest level since February. He later tweeted, to clarify speculation, Tesla has not sold any Bitcoin, he wrote in a post 11 hours later. How the hell... Elon Musk continues to manipulate markets using Twitter, and he keeps getting away with it. Bitcoin defo not a pyramid scheme, says Use of Weapons. Yeah, bosses pay high price for making wrong call. AT&T's £43 billion deal to sell Warner Media is embarrassing U-turn for Telecom's group, Simon Duke reports. I think it's actually a little more complicated than that, but we can't get into that right now. Ryanair plunges to £850 million loss, but aims for summer liftoff. Couldn't happen to a nicer airline, could it? Landlords claim court victory after insolvency haircut. Landlords have welcomed a High Court ruling to revoke a controversial restructuring of the owner of the Supercuts and Regis hairdressing claims that was alleged before, which was agreed before the company went into administration. I never want there to be good news for landlords of any kind. Trying to sell you vacuum cleaners. In the obituaries, Joe Mercer, stylish and prolific flat jockey known as Smoking Joe, whose partnership with Brigadier Gerard was the pinnacle of his career. He has died aged 86. He died of a heart attack. Helen Murray, free chemist and trailblazer for women in science, who helped develop the groundbreaking Dip and Read diagnostic test for diabetes, had died. She was 98. And Marcel Stelman, music and television executive who created Channel 4's Countdown and wrote songs for Charles Aznavour and Cilla Black, has died. He was 96. And in the sport, Kane, you promised I could leave. England captain tells Spurs he wants transfer. United, City and Chelsea target £150 million striker. That is the daily. That's not the daily. That is the Times today. For me, not their worst, I guess. Minus 50. Appreciating all the Minecraft suggestions for landlords in chat today. Right, so I'm going to just quickly do the roll call while you give me the scores for the Times, and then we will move on to the Sun. I'm, of course, the Broken Bottle Boy. You can follow me on @BrokenBottleBoy and on Twitter and @UselessConquests on TikTok. In the Mod Squad today, the excellent Guybrush Tweetgood and the equally excellent SK the Crusader, who I believe needs your videos for the YouTube zone. Also in the chat today, Arid Tracks, Aiton, Auntie Dange, hey Auntie Dange, Bad Motivator, good to see you, Commander Root, Dan Jones 3142, our American friend Grilling Pirate Pete, Industrial Pet, Ipkai Fong, Letty Baskers, Mark Kenosis, Mr. Gump, Selinka Maya, Studying Fangirl, Trioperds, Use of Weapons, V&K, Virgo Pros, and Yuan. Thank you all for joining me on this slightly grey Tuesday. Hello, Ipkai Fong. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Use of weapons rates the Times whatever Bitcoin is worth out, minus whatever Bitcoin is worth out of 10. Slinkermeyer minus 69. Bleak but not diabolical today. Industrial Pet. The dog on the front page may have a point, but the paper itself gets none. So a classic Jane Pickering style 0. Okay, now we're going to move on to the Sun. Sun today, very classic Sun-style tabloid front page. Nick's toast over cereal ad. Exclusive DISOS axe. BBC Slam deal with Shreddies. TV star Nick Knowles faces the axe from DIYSOS after a cereal advert. Nick, 58, plays a builder in the Shreddies commercial, which sources say breaches BBC rules. Top of the page, Sleep with Kate. This will be some sort of sleep app, I guess. I honestly haven't checked yet. They're still trying to get you to go to Chessington World of Adventures. They would have to pay me quite a lot to do that. Harry Bunter Cole reports, Britain's premier cuckold, writes, PM told defy jab refusers. And in the bottom left-hand corner, more on Harry Kane. Right, on page 3, Kate Moss will show a lucky fan what she is like in bed if they pay thousands for a clip of her kipping. The supermodel is appearing in 3 video artworks. Oh god, it's even worse than I thought. Being auctioned for mental health charity Gurus Talk. Sleep with Kate Left is already attracting online auction bids of £11,000 as it's sold with Walk with Kate and Drive with Kate. The artists who shot them say they are dedicated to exploring the idea of the iconic within the realm of what is personal and what is public. Oh, Jesus Christ. Reality TV star Joey Essex has proved he's not as stupid as people think, because he intends to make almost £1.5 million from selling his luxury home. These days, given the prices, it's like, whatever, it's not that much. Katie Price jetted off on to Portugal yesterday for a baby-making break with her fiancé. Oh, my God. Give me fucking strength. Pages 4 and 5. The Great Indoors. M plays warning to PM on Great Day of Freedom. Flight Club. Travel bosses rage at cautious green list. PM's policy branded a joke by Cummings. Nick faces DIY SOS acts BBC Fury at serial ad. Shreddies, Reddies, go is the headline. Nick Knowles is in absolute torment at the prospect of losing his 21-year gig presenting DIY SOS over a serial ad. In his lucrative TV commercial for Shreddies, 58-year-old plays a builder helping a family as he does on his long-running BBC show. Corporation bosses say it breaches its advertising rules. Last month, he was told in a Zoom meeting with execs he had to get it pulled or quit DIY SOS. A source said Nick is in absolute torment, but they have very strict guidelines when it comes to talent and advertising, and he has already broken them by filming the ads. But Shreddies don't want to pull the campaign. Oh, fucking hell. Treaky Nando's. Chicken chains eco pledge to save African forests. Nando's will help save thousands of trees in Africa in a fresh push to go green. The chain is also putting extra vegetarian food on its menu. Okay, fine. That's just PR buff for Nando's. Month of junk food gave me moobs, piles, and left me with moobs, piles, and unable to have sex, says Dr. Chris Van Tulliken, who did this for a documentary called What Are We Feeding Our Kids? Like, Super Size Me was years ago. It's just a rip on that. Megan Fox went out wearing a red outfit. She's 35. It was her birthday. She was having a meal with her boyfriend, Machine Gun Kelly. The headline, Fox hot to trot. And yet, here is the most disgusting, one of the most disgusting things about The Sun. They put a story about how sexy they find an actress on one side of the page, and on the other side of the page, the news that a murdered woman's body may have been discovered. Yeah, fair. Chessington World of Shit Ventures, says Yusuf Weapons. On pages 12 and 13, Why Harry Has Lost Our Sympathy by Sun writer Mercy Maruki, soon to be on GB News. Oh, fuck off. Slagging off family on the TV is Jeremy Kyle-esque. Except he doesn't do that. He didn't do it in the podcast. It doesn't look like he's going to do that in this documentary. Fuck's sake. On page 15, more pictures from the absolutely shit-looking Sex Pistols biopic. I mean, honestly, fuck off. Dan Jones, 3142. Obviously, Megan Fox gets double the area too. I know. It's just horrible. Gates affair. Microsoft boss quit over employee fling. That's the claim they're making. Gates' spokespeople deny that he left the Microsoft board all those years ago for that reason. I think he probably did. Clemmy Moody writes, Coconuts kill 150, clots 50. Have a think, anti-vaxxers. She writes about Princess Diana. She writes about Addison Rae. Wearing an outfit she disapproves of. She splags off Gwyneth Paltrow, which is fine. Pages 18 and 19. As Rashford and Lucia split, how are the other England couples doing? They write about the various girlfriends of England players. Who cares? Sex Pistols biopic sounds dreadful, but it's also boiling Leiden's piss, so who's to say if it's good or bad? Yeah, that is true, Industrial Pet. It just looks shit, though. And you're right, Mark Gnosis, their story isn't even that interesting. They were the monkeys of punk. On page 21, Hamas tunnels pulverized blackout blitz. Israel's 10-minute barrage hits Gaza power supply. Jesus Christ. Killer's ex guilty of Babes in the Wood lies is how they cover that. Richard Madeley is interviewed. The phone hasn't rung and my inbox hasn't pinged, but I am ready to be the new Piers Morgan, he says. Well, you're the old Alan Partridge, so why not be the new Piers Morgan? On page 27, no flake disaster. Mr. Whippy Choc shortage. A Cadbury flake shortage is threatening to wreck a post-lockdown rush for 99 ice creams, the Sun can reveal. Oh, fuck off. Adolf Hitler's toilet key is up for grabs 70 years after his HQ was bombed. It was recovered from the Nazi leader's desk before the blast in Berlin. The key could fetch £3,000 next week at C&T Auctions in Ashford, Kent. Oh, your friend's mum was Sue Catwoman. Oh, okay. And they've not contacted us at all. Yeah, that's horrible. I mean, that's just bullshit, isn't it? I really think it's horrible. Anyway, here's a picture of pheasant and a squirrel having a fight over a nut. They say Kung Fu fight. Stars Au Naturel and Retouch to highlight dangers of filtered selfies. Let it all hang loose. Women. Right. The differences in the pictures aren't that much, and I guarantee you the unphotoshopped pictures have been adjusted somewhat. The woman playing her has liked a couple of Insta posts, but zero conversation. Grim. God, I've been thinking about trying to write something about the Sex Pistols biopic. Auntie Danger, if you're not on the Discord, do join the Discord. It would be good to chat to you about that. Where's the... Let me just share the Discord link. I've renamed the Discord server, by the way. It is now called Server of the Useless for some brand synergy. Moving on. Tonight's TV picks. Eurovision Song Contest semi-final, BBC 4, 8 p.m. I never watched the semi-finals, I only ever watched the finals. Short History of Living Longer, BBC 4, 10:05. The Martin Lewis Money Show, ITV, 8 p.m. And Naked Attractions Best Naughty Bit, 10 p.m. No, thank you. In Deirdre's photo casebook, it's day 2 of Mark feeling neglected, and he's gone round to help the attractive blonde lady fix her pipes. In Fab Daily, I drank neat vodka on tube at 8 a.m. I knew I had a problem, as wine o'clock leads to surge in hospital-rated admissions. One mum says. Right. I mean, I guess that's good in a way to make people aware of problem drinking, but use your weapons. Casual Eurovision fan, you've never been to the heats on a cold Stoke night. Eurovision would be a mastermind subject, aren't it, Dave? That's a good topic. Tricky though. There'd be a lot to learn in that one. My mastermind topic was the fall when I was on it. You can find it on YouTube. Oh, cool. Well, I might try and tune into that. I'm definitely going to watch Eurovision. I'm not a semi-finals fan. I just like the final. Here are some really horrendous trousers you can get. Multi-pocket leisure trousers. Only £18 per pair. Available in navy, stone, red, khaki, Air Force, and black. On the letters page, the £50 letter comes from Leslie Evans of Walsall, West Midlands. This person turns up quite often. I'm not going to do a Midlands accent. I'm just going to do an angry voice, I guess. No, just do a nice voice. I don't know. A voice. It's lovely to see pictures of people enjoying a pint outside a pub as we take a huge step back to normality we once had. It looks like COVID is here to stay, and if we cannot eliminate it, then we'll have to learn to live with it. Surge testing, vaccinations, and treatment are the way to do this, not being in and out of lockdown, which is damaging to both the economy and to people's health. Yep, someone in the Sun newsroom wrote this one. Graham Day of Nottingham, sorry to say, someone from Nottingham is letting you down, SK. Nish Kumar says he wants the BBC to tell him why they cancelled his show. Let me save the trouble. It was left-wing, unfunny rubbish, and I hope he is not given another chance elsewhere. Calm down, Graham. And Ray Burnside says, Greedy Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury are fighting abroad for a bigger payday. It won't matter who wins or loses the fight, they both make millions. I bet it will be a draw and they'll have a rematch for even more money. And incredibly, Graham Day from Nottingham, who's in here slagging off Nish Kumar, gets a second letter on the same page. So there's Graham Day up there, and down there's Graham Day again. Graham Day saying, Boris should make it clear to the Scots that if they vote for independence, they will leave with their share of the UK's debt. Jesus Christ. The Sun Letters page, always a cursed place. They're trying to sell you pillows. Coin alert. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a coin alert.
No coins.
Thank you for that. It is only brand new official limited edition RNLI coin cover. Yours for £5. Features the Queen and a light boat, but the Queen in a lifeboat. Coins, coins, coins. And in the sport, Harry Kane finally tells Levy he wants out. Star favours City in £150 million scrap for signature. The headline, H-bomb. Coins, coins, coins. It's no dome coin. I know, earlier on, when we were walking back from taking Kid in the Room to school, I was trying to persuade person in the room that the dome coin would be a great investment. She is put it this way, I'd be in serious trouble if I bought the dome coin. It's not worth it. It's not worth anything. Yeah, can't go back to 2D coins now. No, Grilling Pirate Pete, the Queen is not in a lifeboat. It's a lifeboat. The RNLI is the Royal National Lifeboat Institute's charity for lifeboats. And she's on one side of the coin and there's a lifeboat on the other. I'm just saying the Queen should be in a lifeboat. Make the coin better. The Queen has never set foot in a lifeboat in her life. Fucking poser, says Mark Canosis. Okay, so that was The Sun. Give me your scores for that. And we will move on finally to the Daily Mail. I don't know why I say Daily Mail in that voice. Zero dome coins is Red Tick Seed's rating for the Sun. Yuan gives it a classic 4 fishes. Double negative nice from Selinka Meyer. Alright, so and -1 coin for every coin in existence is Auntie Danger's review of the Sun. Right, Daily Mail, coins out of 10, says use of weapons. Daily Mail front page, Smile, we're on TV again. Harry and Meghan beam for new show on mental health. Main story now, vaccine refuseniks threaten freedom. Tory MPs warn Boris not to delay unlocking on June 21st over the few who won't have jab. And then inside they're talking about the day Britain threw off the shackles. On pages 2 and 3, Harry uses Diana funeral footage in new TV series on mental health. Why shouldn't he? Backlash at bonkers jibe at US Constitution. I've listened to the whole podcast. There is no bonkers jibe. He talks about it, but they've totally taken that out of context, as you expect. Pages 4 and 5, end of masks and 1 meter rule in peril. Industrial Pet. My partner's not been offered a jab yet. He won't have 2 by the 21st. I just booked my first jab today, and I will not have had 2 by the 21st. Refuseniks is irritating on so many levels. It is indeed. Jim's Cinema and 9 million pints. Cheers to a new dawn. This is how they talk about that. And of course, the unlocking pictures feature predominantly young blonde women. Yeah, I've only been offered it because I'm 37, so I am just literally today. It's come down to 37. Auntie Dange, hate to flex, but had my second one on Sunday. I'll go out licking all the eyeballs on your behalf. Person in the room has also had 2 jabs, so she's just sitting there radiating protection.
Almost. I have to wait 2 weeks before I'm fully radiant protection.
Yeah. Fucking offer it to people already. I know, quite interesting that... oh yeah, all the white women in the thing. Mr. Gump's gasping for a fucking jab. Women private eye would describe as fruity. Industrial Pet. I've had my second next Wednesday, but that's only because my brain is broken. Auntie Dange. Hooray for broken brains. Pages 8 and 9. End Amber List. Travel advice. Shambles. Say tourism chiefs. Of course they would say that. Pages 10 and 11. Storm over early jabs for young. Number 10 says they shouldn't jump queue in Indian strain. Hotspots. More propaganda for the Duchess of Cambridge. Deeply moved. Kate's tribute to couple who died together. Page 12. Business chief's £100,000 boost for COVID memorial. The Daily Mail just saying it's brilliant. Gates was forced to quit Microsoft board over affair with colleague. He's accused of pursuing female staff and asking Epstein for marriage advice. Yep. Bottom of that page, chilling news, we're running out of flakes to go in our 99s. Other chocolates are available, you fucking idiots. Grilling Pirate Pete got a jab after Easter, and yesterday my work Target has started to allow customers and workers that are fully vaccinated to not wear masks. Aratrax is 36 and is getting theirs on Thursday. Mark Knossos, I'm going to get blood taken this afternoon. I'm going to try and talk them into sneaking me a vaccine. Nice. Imagine asking Epstein for marriage advice. Yeah, put a bounty in a flake. Put a crunchy in it. On page 15, it's Naughty Norton, the pansexual playboy. Actors don't seem to need much encouragement to get their kid off these days, but James Norton had the perfect excuse in his latest role as a pansexual posh boy who runs a sex club in Victorian London. The 35-year-old, who's often tipped as the next Bond, can be seen donning bizarre kimonos and baring his bottom as aristocrat Hugo Swan in The Nevers. The Daily Mail's pause button on its TV must be worn out by now. Dan Jones, have a Galaxy Ripple, you pricks. Yeah. Revealed BBC plot to axe troublemakers who criticised Bashir. That's the Daily Mail's claim at least. On page 17, how Roger has the Romans to thank for his 4-minute mile. As Oxford academics take aim at the imperial system of feet, inches, miles and pints, the eccentric histories of the units that tell our glorious island story. Fuck Dominic fucking Sambrook. Dominic Sambrook is a terrible historian. It's been repeatedly shown that his books rely heavily on very poorly done rewriting of other people's scholarship, which borders on plagiarism often. And what the fuck? The man is 9 years older than me, and he's going on about imperial measurements. He's just cosplaying Colonel Blimp. Dominic Sambrook, honestly, he just pumps this stuff out for the Mail all the time and manages to get huge books out every few years. That's not sustainable unless you're cutting corners. And if you read his work, you'll find he cuts corners all the time. There's a very good blog which breaks down all the things that, all the issues with his work, which is called... Bear with me, callers... you'll have to... Where is it? I can't see it in my tabs. Anyway, look it up. There's a whole blog that is just dedicated to unpicking his work, and it's well worth a read if you're interested in why he's awful. Cursed Island is fucking far from glorious. Islam Kamaya agreed. Stunning Fanga, I'm 23, been vaxxed for 2 months. Look, my government is evil. Let me have this one flex. Yeah, I mean, Israel's vaccination program has gone very well. Grilling Pirate Pete, not sure current situation, but when I got mine, they were by appointment. Liberty Splice, they were claimed a week ahead of time. Well, no, sometimes it can happen in the UK if the jabs... sometimes they have more stock than they can get through in a particular day, and they do end up giving jabs on a kind of first-come, first-served basis just to make sure the stock isn't wasted. Richard Littlejohn is fucking awful. I mean, just awful. I'm not even going to engage with him today. As the BBC's Pursuit of Love revels in upper crust hijinks, how its author and her sisters really were to the manor born. Once again, Daily Mail just picking through existing Mitford books and rewriting that. Really sorry to hear that, use of weapon. On page 25, millionaire author's widow, I'll be flung out onto the streets. Bitter row with stepchildren over £3.5 million home. The widow of a millionaire author faces being thrown out on the streets in a bitter legal battle with her stepchildren and daughter over their £3.5 million house. Rana Seal was married to Patrick Seal for 29 years and lived with him in their 3-storey, 6-bedroom property in fashionable Holland Park, West London. She says their daughter, Yasmin Seal, and 2 of her stepchildren, one of them the child of Martin Amis and the other a former understudy to Sir Kenneth Branagh, are now suing her to take away her house. Right. Okay. 25, bottom of that page. When we had Hitler on the run, keys to Führer's toilet for sale. 6 birds for every person, and sparrow is most common. Richard Littlejohn's so awful he's managed to get owned by both Will Self and Johan Hari. Yeah, imagine that. Page 27, Cha-Cha Cheerio, Zoe quits Strictly spin-off. For 10 years she's brought us blah blah blah. Now Zoe Ball is leaving the spin-off show It Takes Two to take on new challenges, she announced last night. Tory Bandy Rifkin backs judge's widow at abuse trial. Soft, strong and incredibly long. Fed up with toilet rolls running out too often? Try this new one that's 6 times longer than a normal 50-metre roll. The Penguin Corliss Ultimate Long Max would be 3 times the height of the New York Statue of Liberty if unrolled vertically. Jesus Christ. Pages 28 and 29, they're on about e-scooters. I blame myself for Emily's death, but the SAS challenge has helped me heal, says YouTube star's boyfriend. The boyfriend of a YouTube star who's killed on an e-scooter that her boyfriend gave her. Now he says he's fighting his despair by taking part in the SAS Who Dares Wins show. On this day, May 18th, 2021, from the Daily Mail archive, May 18th, 1943, two mighty walls of water were last night rolling down the Ruhr and Eder valleys. Railway bridges, power stations, factories, whole villages and built-up areas were being swept away. Air Chief Marshal Sir Arthur Harris last night described the attack on the German dams as a major victory in the Battle of the Ruhr. May 18th, 1991, a delighted Helen Sharman was given her final passport to space yesterday. Britain's first astronaut sailed through medical checks for today's launch of the Soviet Soyuz TM-12, headed for the Mir space station. Smiling broadly, Helen, 27, said, "I am ready to fly." Happy birthday to Miriam Margolis, 80, and Rick Wakeman, 72. Also born on this day in 1919, Dame Margot Fontaine, the ballet dancer. And Nobby Stiles, born on this day in 1942, Manchester-born son of an undertaker, became a Manchester United midfielder and linchpin of England's 1966 World Cup winning team. He was nicknamed the Toothless Tiger due to his missing front teeth. After retiring from playing, he was a youth team coach at Old Trafford, working with youngsters including Ryan Giggs and David Beckham. On this day in 1812, John Bellingham was hanged for the first and only assassination of British Prime Minister Spencer Perceval. In 1950, at a meeting in London, 12 nations agreed a permanent organisation for the defence of the US and Europe, NATO. Quote of the day, "Politicians are the same all over. They promise to build a bridge where there is no river." That was Nikita Khrushchev, leader of the Soviet Union, who died in 1971. A joke of the day, why did the pillow cross the road? It was picking up the chicken's feathers. Jesus Christ. Ian Botham only joined the House of Lords last year, but the cricket legend's already been caught out by rules on declaring business interests. Peer has been told to apologise for not registering his personal services company, from which he and his wife Kath had taken a loan of almost £200,000. It's almost as if he shouldn't have been made a lord, but there you go. What a month of eating ultra-processed food did to me. This guy's just... Dr. Christian Van Tulliken. Honestly... We know this is just fucking Super Size Me, but less fun. Mick is so jaded by the chicken pillow joke. I am. That was a bad joke. In good health, can Specs full of liquid really stop you feeling travel sick? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I'm skipping through the good health section. I can't. Why opening windows is as important as hands, face, space. I mean, how would you? Who didn't know that? Special glasses so you can see bright, like, for zooming in on things, that also make you look like, I don't know, a character in a film about hackers in the 90s. Yes, Ian Botham did post both of his balls. Yes, Ian Botham posted his balls. Botham or just one? Zoom and enhance. In the review section, in the TV recommendation, Hospital 9pm BBC 2, Ainsley's Mediterranean Cookbook 7:30 ITV, All That Glitters, Britain's Next Jewellery Star 8pm BBC 2, we'll be watching that here because Kid in the Room likes it, and the Martin Lewis Money Show 8pm ITV. In the reviews today, The Pact gets 4 stars from Christopher Stevens, and Innocent also gets 4 stars. In the cartoons, Garfield is watching TV. In Chloe & Co., Chloe and her friend are drinking and talking about work today rather than men. And in Fred Bassett, he is wondering where his new friend is, and he's a bit worried about it. Oh, don't worry, Fred. I'm sure they will come and see you again. Right, in the straight-to-the-point letters, Sandra Freeman writes, "It won't be long before even the Americans get fed up with hearing about Harry and Meghan's woes." Paul Marsden says, "He's the first member of the royal family to become a court jester." Diane Bryant says, "Didn't Harry once say he'd given Meghan the family she never had? Now it turns out he doesn't like them." Brenda Spray, real name, says, Meghan's sugary storybook tells of a bond between fathers and sons, yet Harry continues to make digs at Charles. M. MacLeod of High Wycombe says, Harry appears to have compassion for the rest of the world, but none for his family. C. Anderson of Ilford says, like Paul McCartney as a child, I enjoyed Yorkshire pudding as a dessert, full of sultanas and served with a wedge of lemon. Jesus Christ. Barry Carroll says, walking from London's Oxford Street to Bond Street, I was shocked by the number of boarded up shops. Colleen Farrant says, like the Queen, my mother achieved her life-saving qualification at the age of 14. Inspired by her achievement, my daughter and I became lifeguards. And Stephen McNamara says, I'll never vote Labour while it's led by a lump of wood with hair gel and no policies. And finally, T. Johnson says, growing up in a working class area in Yorkshire, everybody used the words lavatory or lav. I heard the word loo for the first time when I moved to London. Helen Penny says, I agree that TV's mucky soaps have become unwatchable with increasingly ridiculous storylines. I used to find them relaxing, and Corrie in particular had a strong dose of humour. But no more. All the trailers for EastEnders show depression and despair. Is it a coincidence that humorless producer Kate Oates has worked on Emmerdale, Coronation Street and EastEnders? Surely there must be some good script writers out there. EastEnders, the very first episode, began with them busting a door open to find a man dead in his home. It's always been bleak. Yeah, absolutely owned by Keith there. Everything will be okay, Fred. Yeah, we love Fred. Today's recipe, spiced prawn cocktail subs. Sounds alright, I guess. Yeah, the one good letter on that page was the one with Keith getting owned. They're trying to sell you cruises. This time a cruise featuring a classical concert by Catherine Jenkins, a performance by Lulu, and an audience with Ken Barlow. So, yeah, there you go. Seems pretty bleak. And if you fancy it, heel and toe soft top socks, £35 for 7 pairs in a range of gaudy colours. Guybrush Threepgood, I cannot imagine a more miserable thing than being stuck on a cruise with male readers. Absolutely use of weapons. That is a voyage of the damned. And in the sport, Kane's off. Tells Spurs he needs to leave. Prefers to stay in England. Wants deal done before Euros, but Levy demands £150 million and insists he won't join rival. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has claimed that anti-Glazer protests at Man United are having a negative effect on his team, with more demonstrations expected tonight. For me, it's a minus triple. It's a triple negative nice. Minus 69, 69, 69 there. An audience with Ken Barlow. Well, yes, it's an audience with William Roach, but I mean, who gives a fuck about William Roach? Yes, I know. I was being obtuse when I said it was an audience with Ken Barlow. Yuan, 4-star, 4 fishes. Mr. Gump, minus forever. Slinkermeyer in with the same score as me, a triple negative nice. Hi, Dange. I'm sure you would not write into the Daily Mail. Dan Jones gives the Daily Mail similarly a triple negative nice, but a +1. Triple negative nice +1, so 69, 69, 68. The +1 in there for the Keith letter. And Chris McRae gives it minus 6,000 for the Ken Barlow Bill Roach thing alone. Mark Kenosis, I keep wanting to start a jazz group called the Bill Roach Acquittal. That would be good. Right, so thank you for joining me today on the show. I will be back tomorrow with a magazine special. There is still a chance for you to pick what magazine it is. If you throw some coins into the newspaper fund, paypal.me/conquest of the useless, and tell me what magazine you want me to get. Yes, coins. And if you are not yet a member of the Discord, consider joining the Discord where we can chat when I'm not on stream. Otherwise, catch me on Twitter at Broken Bottle Boy. I will be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. And don't forget to send SK videos for his YouTube stream, YouTube Zone stream. Anyway, back tomorrow at 1. See you then. Have a really good afternoon. Find me on Twitter if you need me. Cheers. Cheers, Mr. Gump. See you the next day when you're back. Bye, use of weapons. Cheers, lads. Bye-bye.